What's up, everybody? Peter X, this old golfer, and welcome to another episode of Classic Songs. Today, I've been doing, these ballads lately, but one of the great ones, the beautiful ones by Prince, and to me, this is the quintessential Prince song. Now, a lot of people will pick a fight, but to me, this is the greatest ballad Prince ever did. A lot of people will take a door, but only Prince can do this song. I mean, Prince, I've said it on other episodes. I mean, when it comes to screaming, nobody screams like Prince and nobody brings the passion like him. I mean, Steven Tyler of Aerosmith and Prince are the only ones who can scream and sing at the same time. I've run across. I'm sure there's other ones, but there's so many groups and bands and singers out there now in this era of just uploading songs. But of the major bands out there, those are the two, and it's just nobody can really do what Prince does on this song. I know her, in the Prince tribute, I think NBC, she did a version of the song, but her can't do the end of the song. So, hey, Prince had a lot of very good ballads. I'm going to do the 10 best Prince ballads of each era. I'm going to do the 70s and 80s and then the 90s, and then probably, you know, his 21st century ballads, the 10 best of those. So, Prince probably, I mean, even when it comes to Luther, I mean, Prince, almost 40 albums, he has more great ballads than anybody else. I mean, even Marvin, because Marvin was, until the 70s was more of a singles, with Motown, they focus on singles and not albums. So even when you just talk sheer volume, Prince probably had more than Marvin Gaye. He was probably the first great balladeer. Even though Sam Cooke and Nat King Cole and Otis Redding did good ballads as well. So yeah, so the beautiful ones replaced Electric Intercourse on in the movie Purple Rain. It makes sense. Prince felt that when Vanity left, Apollonia brought a different thing and there was a different energy. Um, yeah, I mean, it probably makes sense. He you know, post death, when they did the expanded version of Purple Rain, Electric Intercourse was on that. I still think his live version of Electric Intercourse at First Avenue is better than even the studio version. So I can't argue with Prince, on the replacement here. Certainly, the Electric Intercourse live one, because he intersperses on this album, Purple Rain. I mean, it's a mixture of studio and live when it comes to Baby I'm a Star and Purple Rain. And I think those are the two that where he, because he recorded those in '83 at Wendy's. Yeah, Wendy's debut, her first, when Wendy replaced Des Dickerson, and slowly but surely he wanted to actually do the, make them live, but over time he did more work in the studio on those songs, and they became more studio. So I think there's still some live elements left. If you go on YouTube, the that there's several versions of that recording from Wendy's debut concert, still on YouTube floating out there. But that's what happened. Now, if you remember the scene, in the movie, um, Morris is with Apollonia and Prince is kind of jealous, so he does this song and she cries and whatever, and Morris is like, "Damn, that's messed up, dude, doing this." So I mean, there is a triangle there in the movie, Apollonia, Prince, and Morris. Um, I mean, the end. I mean, that's the most memorable scene in the movie to me. Prince is screaming, and this movie put him over the top. yeah, I think this song put him over. I mean, is what made him a star. I mean, it certainly got me. I mean, I think the other scene that rivets you is the opening scene with Let's Go Crazy, and what the goal of the movie was to capture Prince's energy and just his superpowers live, and they did a very good job on both of these. Probably the best of capturing that in Let's Go Crazy and The Beautiful Ones. So, who was the song written about? Well, two versions out there. One is uh, Vanity said it was written about her, and then Susanna Melvoin, who is Wendy's twin sister. Well, Prince has said it was Susanna. Um, he, again, the song replaced Electric Intercourse, and Electric Intercourse probably, fit Vanity more. And so yeah, according to Prince, this is written about Susanna, and when Susanna and Prince first met, she did have another guy. So, hey. The other interesting thing is there's been one remake of this. I didn't know this until I started the research, but Mariah Carey did a version of this song with Drew Hill. And I have to say, I mean, I like the version. I mean, it's not as good as this, but I like the version. Let me read my notes here on this. Crackling the paper. So they used the Drew Hill and Mariah Carey's vocals throughout, and I think having both the male female vocals throughout really lends something that works. It gives its own intensity by how they arrange the vocals in it. So whoever arranged the song did a really good job of the arrangement. And then that makes it it's not a typical duet ballad, because usually you have the male and the female and the male and the female, and they're separate. But all the voices are present throughout the song, and it has its own build up. It reminds me a little bit of the build up that in the Secret Garden towards the end. This version kind of has that as well. What I'm starting to see is, I take a deeper dive in these classic songs. I've done Something, and I've done The Secret Garden, which is Quincy Jones with various vocalists, and there's an element of they kind of grab something from from the good things about a good romantic relationship, and kind of shine a light on them, or kind of, plant their flags in certain areas of those things that, you know, everybody loves in a good romance. And this song, The Beautiful Ones, I mean, the end is, it symbolizes orgasm. I mean, there's just no other way to get around it. And so if something is, love at first sight, and The Secret Garden reminds me of, um, the build up. And I think, I was talking about the Drew Hill, Mariah Carey, doesn't quite hit orgasm that gets to the build up and lets you kind of figure out the orgasm, yourself. I mean, the the Mariah Carey Drew Hill version of the Beautiful Ones kind of does that as well. Um, yeah, Prince did a song on his Come album called Orgasm, which is an instrumental with guitar. Yeah, I mean, okay, Prince, you did it here though. This is the song where you really, you know, hit that and cap that off. So yeah, I mean, this is definitely a classic song. Reminds me back in the day. I mean, boomers and Gen Xers, before before streaming and before, hey, a lot of slow jam tapes were made, or CDs burned. It was a little easier, in the early 2000s, because you could, go in there and click, songs or whatever, and burn it into CDs. But a lot of effort went into building these slow jam tapes, because you could. It wasn't like it is now on Spotify, where you click the box and bam, you got a playlist. You had to pick them. You had to sit there and listen as you made that slow jam tape. And there's a lot going. There's a lot. A great slow jam tape. I mean, you varied the speeds and the tempos of the songs. I mean, you know, you either want to, towards the end, you want that payoff song where it gets you, there, like the Secret Garden, or the beautiful ones. Bam, the orgasm's there, and then work with the music to get there. But yeah, that's. I mean, and the whole thing is, uh, quieting everything down with the slow jam. I mean, that was the, relaxation. Hey, sex is better when both parties are relaxed and calm. And so that was the whole thing. And then, you build up, you speed it up at points in the slow jam tape, and you slow it down just like, a good, romantic evening. And so, yeah, it's interesting, and how, at least right now, it seems that these great slow jam songs are sort of, highlighting, the great aspects of a good romantic relationship, or a good romantic outing. So yeah, again, I mean, relationships are about tempo and matching tempos. Sometimes you need to, a partner needs things slowed down because of things outside of the relationship, and they don't need the pressure. They need a good slow jam tape going to calm them, and that's the art of making a good, a relationship last, is knowing where, your partner is and what is needed at the time. And you know as I think, as we go, as I keep doing some of these slow jams, we'll see that these elements, there's a pattern here with these three, and we'll see if they continue. But I think, they will continue, and it's, tempo's everything in a relationship, and you know who controls tempo and who seeds tempo is important, because sometimes you have to seed tempo. You might want a different tempo, but in order to preserve the relationship, or and to, um, be of service, or help your partner, you need to slow things down sometimes. And everybody, if you're in sync, you want to speed things up. I mean, that's great, but it's, tempo is a lot of stuff. I mean, early on in a relationship, tempo, who's ready to do what when, that's tempo. And you know it's all about respect, and when, what's the word we use, all the time, consent. So a lot of that boils down to tempo. So anyway, yeah, the Beautiful Ones by Prince, masterpiece of, by Prince, the quintessential Prince. I mean, nobody can do this song like Prince. You know, you can do your version of it, but it's a little bit, reminding me, here I am riffing, going off and doing, my the sun sign Gemini again, but it's, trying to do. Another example is, L.A. Woman, The Doors. Love Billy Idol too, but Billy Idol's L.A. Woman doesn't do the Mojo Rising, because only Jim can do that. Only Jim Morris can do the Mojo Rising. I don't know who else has covered, L.A. Woman, and hey, that's a classic song on the do at some point. We'll see who's covered it, but yeah, not too many people, can match Prince, second by second, in the beautiful ones. And I haven't seen it yet. Maybe at some point someone will, but hey. But kudos again to Mariah Carey and Drew Hill. They really did a very good, solid cover of this in their own way, and that still resonates. So thanks for coming through. I got 5 albums here on the streaming services, and also pegged here on my YouTube channel. Singles do the latest one's doing well, and I'm experimenting with singles this year. And I also got 2 science fiction fantasy novels and a novella on Amazon. So until next episode, see you later, and thanks for coming through.